Right, it's watch time. Today we're looking at the Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 Classic. And the thing that makes it classic, which is probably what makes it stand out from last year's Samsung watches, is they've brought back the rotating bezel. Which means that you can navigate around your watch and you can see I'm changing from the main screen to various different tiles and widgets. And when you actually get onto your apps and things, you can, go work around your list and things like that using that physical bezel. So here's last year's Galaxy Watch, and there's no physical bezel. You could still do the same similar movement by running your finger around it. But that does come in handy in situations like, when the watch is wet, for example, you can still control it. It means that when your alarm goes off in the middle of the night, you can just set it to snooze by rotating it one way or turn it off another way. So there's all kinds of, if you've got a timer set, for example, you're doing exercises, you're doing certain sets to a certain time, you rotate it one way, it'll set the timer going again, rotate it another way, it'll just stop it and reset it. So that's good. I think everybody's pleased to see that bezel back. So this is actually the smaller version. This is the 43 millimeter version. So this version here was a 45 millimeter version in last year's watch, but this Classic comes in a 47 millimeter version this year, so it's quite a bit bigger again. So this is the smaller screen. There is a screen that's more that size, except it's bigger still, sort of thing. Yes, there are new watch faces, and they can you can set them to match the watch face on the screen of your phone. For example, I've got it paired here with the Galaxy Z Flip 5. What other tricks do we have up our sleeve? Well, it's always fun to use your watch as a camera remote. So there you can see it's looking at the same thing, looking at me. It's upside down because I'm showing it to you, on my wrist. You can stick the camera somewhere where you're not holding it and use the watch to work as a camera remote there. So that's pretty fun. Another little change this year, which may be of interest to those of you who like to mix and match straps. So this watch comes with this sort of faux leather strap. So it looks like leather, but it isn't leather, which is good because you don't want to swim or sweat with real leather, whereas this is impervious to all of that. That's good. But the other innovation here is this: they've got this one-touch situation to remove the strap. So that just pops off like that, just by pushing that button down. And if we push it down again, I'll try and do it so I can show you. And then there we go, we're back on, just like that. So that's a bit easier than previous models. You've had the little sort of lever thing that you have to pull and jam it into place, and that all gets a bit complicated. So if you're going to swap your straps around, that's pretty good. If you look very closely on here, you'll see that there is a extra sensor. There's a skin temperature sensor there. So that's going to keep an eye on various things. As usual, a lot of sensors sensing a lot of things. You can even, as you can now with last year's watch as well, calibrate it with a blood pressure monitor, and it will actually monitor your blood pressure as well as do the ECG. You can check for an irregular heartbeat, which may be time to go to the doctor and say, hey, I'm wondering about if I've got some kind of atrial fibrillation going on there. It's a watch that can literally save your life now. That's pretty cool. Sleep tracking is another major innovation. Now, unfortunately, I don't think the battery life has improved markedly on this watch between this watch and last year's watch. However, it does charge very quickly. So I find that if I just put it on the charger for 20 minutes or so before I go to bed while I'm reading, that'll usually get it back up to close to 100%, and then I can wear it at night. And if I just bring up my sleep records here, you'll see that it does this really quite disturbing thing. As long as your phone is also on the nightstand, you can that's me snoring. So you can capture your snore records there. And I snored for 1 hour and 7 minutes last night. So you can imagine how delighted the domestic manager was about that. So it's a very, very capable watch, as always. I mean, the Galaxy watches have been great for years. They've really been the leaders when it comes to Android connected watches. They're running the latest Wear OS operating system, of course. And and with the bezel back and the more user-friendly strap, it really is a very easy watch to recommend.